I fundamentally take the view that a woman has the right to choose what she does with her own body. And that is the reason why I put forward my statement the other day. I didn't have to. I could have voted silently on that question, but I felt passionate about this issue and passionate people should understand, as one of their representatives, one of their 17 representatives, that I would explain my view. I'm not trying to persuade people either way.
In July 2019, as the then leader of the opposition in Parliament, you said that the law went beyond making Gibraltar's law constitutionally compliant, that it introduces for the first time abortion on demand. Do you still believe that?
Now, it's quite clear that at the time when I made that speech, I was the parliamentary leader of the opposition. I had an utmost responsibility to make sure that the opposition's official position had been communicated. That is the position that our party internally voted for. That is the position that the MPs had signed up to. And we took the view at the time that we've taken the view that the government had misrepresented the position on what was constitutionally necessary. And that was the view that we'd taken. I had to promote and put forward the party's position within Parliament. And the question, of course, is how do I square that with my personal view? Well, the elections happened. That is the reality of the situation. The government achieved that mandate in the context of the general election, and a referendum is here. The decision on whether to press the green button or the red button on not activating or activating the law is now for the people. That is the decision that we're faced with. And on balance, based on those two options, I would, as I've said, press the green button to activate the laws. You know, the party has always had a tradition of allowing MPs to speak their mind, and I think that people deserve people like me to be honest and transparent about how I feel about this subject. And I feel that women have the right to choose. And if that annoys, irritates, frustrates, or upsets people, I'm sorry, but I have to do my job. And if crudely putting it, people don't vote for me, then that is their decision. And they can make that decision at the appropriate time. But I'm doing it on principle, as an individual, as a person who lives in this community with the rest of my community, and I'm exercising my vote in that way, with the utmost respect to those people who would not agree with me.
But if it's a question of rights, if a woman has a right, as you say, to bodily autonomy, then how could you champion effectively a no vote as leader of the opposition? Why didn't you let somebody who believed essentially in the GSD position to make that argument for you, such as Daniel Feetham, for example?
Because I'm in a position, I was at the time the parliamentary leader of the opposition, appointed by the leadership outside of Parliament to convey the party's viewpoint. And I can do that. I conveyed the message and the party policy on the day, and those were my instructions, and I was able to do that. Of course it was difficult for me, nonetheless, because ultimately there is this underhang of the personal view versus the political message that was coming from the party. I was representing the party, the opposition of Gibraltar, and I had to do my job, and I did so. Now the position is, members of the public, do you want to activate this law or do you not? That is the question solely for this. Given those two clear options to the people, and to people, that all of us have to make the decision on the day. And I've said that I will do that.
You've already partly addressed this in your earlier answer, but why did you feel the need to put your view in the public domain, given that there's a risk that it may undermine people's confidence in you as a politician speaking your mind, given that your position has changed so fundamentally from July 2019 to now?
I don't see it as fundamentally changing the position. Let me give the reason for that, and that is that we took the view that when the Chief Minister said that he is doing what he is doing to make Gibraltar constitutionally compliant, that is not accurate. That was not an accurate statement. It was a misrepresentation, and it was clear. The law as currently drafted went beyond what was constitutionally compliant, and that is the view that we've taken. I don't see any major inconsistency with that in relation to my personal view. If we had won the election, there would have been a series of steps that would have been taken, and at some point within that time I would needed to have debated that issue. Look, every political party in the world, I suspect, has differing views on different subjects, particularly on major issues that affect questions like this. And I'm expressing my personal view. It may put me in conflict with some people in my party, as the GSLP has those internal conflicts, and the Liberals and TG, I suspect, on this particular issue. But for me, I thought it was right that I tell people what my personal view is on the subject, not to persuade them or otherwise, but to be open and transparent about it.